So this is the absolute best thing to do in Cappadocia, Turkey. Hang out with me today. You're going to love this itinerary. There are so many interesting places to explore right here. So after I show you the balloon launch from my Fairy Tale Cave Hotel, I'm going to take you on a full tour of Cappadocia's absolute best thing to do. You must go here for sure. And we're talking, this is 3,000 years old. So in my last Cappadocia video, I showed you how to find and explore the very best lost and forgotten fairy chimney caves. In this video, I'm going to show you which one is the best open air museum and how to explore it without tourists. It's amazing what I've discovered over here in Cappadocia. So enjoy this short peek at the hot air balloons from my Fairy Cave Hotel before we then head out to visit Cappadocia's absolute best open air museum. I guarantee you will be in awe today. Well, good morning from Cappadocia, and this is my actual Fairy Chimney Cave Hotel, and this is every single morning in Cappadocia. Every single morning, unless the weather is windy. But welcome to Mornings in Cappadocia, directly from my authentic Fairy Chimney Cave Hotel. I mean, I'm staying in a room more than 2,000 years old. I mean, I'm just in awe. So it's about 6:15 in the morning, and just, this is what you wake up to in the mornings here. It's just friggin' magical. Is there any other word that describes this? Magical is the word. Anyway, have a little breakfast here with me this morning, and then I'm going to take you on a little journey for the day. Actually, I'm renting a car, and then we're going to go down, and I'm going to stop along the way and show you a few places that I went to. And then I'm going to take you over to show you the absolute best open air museum in all of Cappadocia, the Zelve Open Air Museum. This one's off the beaten track. The tourists don't make their way here. They're busy over at the Göreme Open Air Museum, which I gotta be honest with you, I didn't care for too much because I just felt like it was just too many buses. But here, when you see this today, you're gonna agree with me. I had the whole place to myself, and it was beyond magical on a perfect day. Wait until you see this footage that we captured. So hang out with me, you're gonna love this. So I did put a Google link into the description of all the amazing places we're gonna visit in this video. So if you want an inside peek at my Fairy Cave Hotel, if you actually want to go inside and have a peek around, be sure to check out this video. And if you want to learn where and how to discover some fairy caves, some fairy chimneys that are remote, lost, and forgotten, check out this video. I promise you won't regret visiting these two videos and enjoying them if you love or you want to know more about Cappadocia. So if you really want to maintain your independence and you don't want to be hostage to a taxi or a tour group, rent a car. Renting a car here is really easy. And so anyway, we're on our way to Zelve Open Air Museum. Amazing. So it's really interesting why they're called fairy chimneys or fairy caves. And, legend has it that the original settlers of these places couldn't describe the magical beauty or the unique, formations that these rocks have. I mean, it's like nowhere else you've ever seen. So they couldn't describe it, so they just surmised or guessed that some creature before them, some fairy, some supernatural creature or whatever was the entity that created these fairy chimney caves. And, when you see them for yourself, they are actually that magical. So when you look at these structures, these rocks, I mean, it really is an otherworldly experience. I mean, I don't know of any other place on Earth where there is such unique rock formations that are naturally created. I mean, these mushroom-looking fairy chimney rock caves. I mean, it's just, when you see it in person, it's beyond, you just stand there in awe and you just look, and it's just so amazing. So anyway, here I actually ran into a few people walking around, but in the other part of Zelve Open Air Museum, I had the whole place to myself. Hang on, because it actually gets even better than this, if you can imagine. So the day before I went here to Zelve, I went to the Göreme Open Air Museum, and that was a complete, tourist trap, in my opinion, on the day I was there. It just was busloads of people and lines and parking lots with buses arriving. And I enjoyed seeing things, but, I spent most of my day waiting in a line to walk through a tiny little cave. And then when I got here, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no one here. And it was actually better. So here's what I'm trying to tell you is get out of your comfort zone and avoid the tourist trap if you've only got limited time. Get yourself to Zelve. And if you have even more time, watch my other video and go down and check out the fairy chimney caves that are the lost and forgotten ones that I also highlighted in that video. But Zelve, if you've only got a chance to view one thing in all of Cappadocia, don't miss this place. So a couple of fun facts here. Very interesting. There were people actually living here in these caves until about 70 years ago. And another fun fact is that the movie Ghost Rider 2 was actually filmed right here. Very interesting, actually, I think. These are abandoned caves. Looks like someone just left yesterday, and here it is. No one here. So if you haven't done so already, the best thing you can do to thank me if you're enjoying this video is hit the like button. That would really, really help me a great deal. That's how YouTube actually determines whether or not it will promote a video or not, based on whether it gets likes or it does not. So yeah, that would really help me out a lot. But anyway, hang out with me, because in a minute I'm going to show you the very famous church inside the Zelve Open Air Museum, and it's really kind of fascinating. So hang out with me a bit. We're almost there. So as I said earlier, this here is really an entire day event. I mean, you can spend all day here. And if you're like me, you don't want to be rushed. Your curiosity is excited. You want to explore everything. Don't do this with a tour group. Come here on your own. Explore it on your own. You can do everything and anything here. There's no one telling you what to do or how to do it. That's the beauty of it. But you want to be able to explore this on your own with your own curiosity. Don't be one of those people that are in a flag-waving tour group and being rushed through it and told some story that some other guy, made up. Who knows? But anyway, be an adventurer. Yay. And enjoy Zelve. And again, if this is the only one that you can do while you're in Cappadocia, this is the one to do for sure. I got a certain feeling when I was here. It was very quiet with a little tiny wind just kind of blowing through the valley. And, I would stop and think for a minute. Go back a couple thousand years and there were hundreds, maybe thousands of people moving about here, collecting fruits and vegetables and doing their thing and moving from cave to cave and making new caves and moving about. Yet here I am, there was no one here, It's just a magical feeling that I got while I was here, very serene, very spiritual. This Holy Cross Church was one of the highlights of walking around in Zelve. Notice on the right-hand side of the video, the tomb. I guess there was bones found here years ago. So yeah, this video is long because I just could not stop exploring these caves. Every one of them is different. Sometimes you'd find little frescoes that were worn out and barely visible. I actually found a piece of pottery just walking through one of them. But I mean, you'll discover things in these things that, you'll feel like the first person who discovered it in the last 1,000 years. And they're unique. Every one of them is unique and different. So you can really spend all day here. And if you're like me, it becomes like an addiction. So what you see right here is an ancient monastery, which was actually gated off. They didn't want you over here because of fear of it collapsing, which, very possible, I think, in the near future, but just amazing. So be sure to hang out with me for a couple more minutes, because when we leave Zelve, on the way back to my Fairy Cave Hotel, I discovered the Avanos Deant Valley. And there also another unique discovery, super cool. And somebody actually told me the significance of these little things that are carved in the side of these fairy caves that help people get up into the cave. But I learned something there, and I'll show you. So hang out with me. This is really unique discovery. So one thing I find amazing about things around here, you're just driving alongside the road and you see these amazing cone structures. So you pull over and you want a picture. There's no one else here, no one. And then you see a cave, like I'm going to show you in a second, up in the side of the cone, way up high, like how did anyone ever get up there? And then earlier, a guy showed me today, if you see this on a cave, that means 1,000 years ago, they carved steps in the side of the cone in order to access the cave. So check this out, let me show you. So those marks on the side of the cone is where they carved steps to climb up into the cave. And look how high that cave is. Way up there. Look at that cave. Somebody's home a couple thousand years ago. You can just drive along the road and these 2,000-3,000 year old caves are everywhere, and you can go explore them if you can get into them. So this is the most interesting thing that I've learned on this trip to Turkey. You can pay money and you can hire a tour guide and you can wait in long lines at all the tourist trap type places that are all cutied up and prettied up for tourists. Or you can just get into a car and stop alongside the road and get a real view into some ancient fairy tale looking places like this. So once again, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. But if this video has inspired your adventure to Cappadocia, I hope you give it a like and subscribe so you can check out my other Cappadocia adventures. But thanks so much.